On, guys, and today we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers and their upcoming offseason priorities. And this is a team that went 25 and 57 in Rick Carlisle's first year, and they blew it up. Domantas Sabonis gone, okay? And they had the 28th ranked defense and the 17th ranked offense this upcoming, this year. And this is their third coach in 3 seasons, and a lack of success on the court finally showed that the Indiana Pacers front office needs to shake things up. And the Pacers were painfully inept at closing games last year. They were 3 and 14 in games decided by one possession, and 10 and 43 in games against teams with a record above 500. That's just bad. They were bad, and it led to Miles Turner wanting to be traded because he wants to do more scoring. Instead, the Pacers traded Karis LeVert to Cleveland and Domantas Sabonis to Sacramento. And what they get, Tyrese Haliburton on a rookie scale contract, and that's really the only win they got this season. And the Pacers tanked their way to, bottom 5 record. They have the 5th best chance at getting the lottery, the top pick, but they do have a 42.1% chance of getting a top 4 pick and a 10.5% chance of getting the top selection. And we haven't seen the Pacers potentially select this high since when they grabbed Rick Smits with the 2nd overall pick back in 1988. The Pacers would have owned Cleveland's pick from the LeVert trade at the deadline when they took on the torn ACL and expiring contract of Ricky Rubio, but it was a top 14 protected pick, and Cleveland lost in the play-in tournament. So that means the pick stayed with Cleveland. So they didn't end up having 2 first-round picks, but they still have 3 picks, 2 in the second round. That LeVert trade also sent Indiana the 31st pick in the draft, which was originally owned by Houston. That's good because, Orlando owns Indiana's 35th overall pick that the Pacers originally sent out for the acquisition of Malcolm Brogdon back in the signing trade in 2019. The Pacers have also another selection with the 58th overall pick that they got for sending Torrey Craig to Phoenix, Suns on the trade deadline. The Pacers have a lot of work to do because, Tyrese Haliburton's on a rookie deal, but he has 2 more years plus, the 3rd qualifying restrict tender year that they could do. And then Buddy Hield and Brogdon are on deals past this season, but they both could be trade assets. And do the Pacers really need all 3 of those guys plus TJ McConnell? Is that the best allocation of $55 million for, Buddy Hield, Brogdon, and, TJ McConnell? Okay. And look, it feels like maybe Brogdon and Hield should, go somewhere else to maximize the structure of this roster. Turner has 1 more year, so he'll sign an extension or demand a new workplace, like a trade. And the current team isn't good enough. Okay, they're not going to compete in this Eastern Conference, and the Pacers don't have a star. And maybe you believe that Tyrese Haliburton can become that star, but even then, you have to admit he might just be a really good player instead of, a superstar. Ricky Rubio and TJ Warren are free agents, and Rubio's recovering from ACL, and he didn't play. Warren has barely played due to a foot injury for the past 2 years, and Pacers need to go more offensive with the roster and just start tearing it down to see what they can put next to Haliburton. So there should be a huge market for Miles Turner, and there should be a good market for Buddy Hield and Malcolm Brogdon. So I think definitely trading them both. And with the 5th pick, we can assume that Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero, and Chet Holmgren will be the first 4 picks. And then with the 4th and 5th pick, Oklahoma City and Indiana Pacers, if it stays with everything how it goes, maybe a Keegan Murray or a Jaden Ivey to Indiana would really help them out. So that's where I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you guys think of this? I think it's definitely interesting. And if you look at this, the Indiana Pacers, have an interesting salary situation, okay? And I think that's because, they've tried to move off so many contracts. But if you look at the team next year, they're on the books for $88.4 million, which means they have about $37 million in cap space. And they could, decline Kiefer Sykes and O'Shea Brissett's, team options. I expect maybe Sykes to be declined, but Brissett definitely keep. And if they move, Buddy Hield and Malcolm Brogdon, right there, that'll open up another 43, so they can go make some splashes in free agency if needed. So I want to hear your thoughts down below.